Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21 Career Mode. This is episode 114, and we've finally done it. We have made World Tour, and as a result, this is our first time, even though we've spent the last couple of years in Continental Pro, or 3 years is it that we've been in Continental Pro before we finally hit World Tour. This race doesn't invite any Conti Pro teams. It's just the World Tour team. So this is our first time here at, well, a race that I very much enjoy. It's the Santos Tour Down Under. Now, a part of me wants to say that I've been here before, but I'm sure that's probably just because it was Pro Cyclist mode, or remembering last year. Well, anyway, it is stage number 2, and it is a punchy finish on this one. I only brought one of my 2 primary punchers for this race, and that is Igashin. A lot of my guys, I wanted to ease into the season a little bit as it's still January. I've noticed, unlike previous years where you want everyone set to very high, it leads to a lot of fatigue late in the season when you start with very high. I've very much noticed that. So most of the guys started on normal. I had a couple riders start on high, and only a single rider to very high, meaning their fitness level beginning at a higher level come January 1st. And that was Igashin, because he is the focal point of this race, and we wanted to give him at least a little bit of a chance to not have, negative race day conditions. I forgot one little thing to do, which was get water.
15 kilometers to the finish line.
Thought I had already clicked on that actually before I paused and set myself up to begin this recording, but either I misclicked or forgot. Either way, with just 12k to go and nobody's crying about water, it looks like we'll be okay. There's a lot of uphill swing to this thing, and as we hit the 10k to go, I don't want to go. Well, you know what? I do want to go. I want to go now. Let's set this up. We're not going to go hardcore yet, but we're going to set this up for the run in. Okay. Gallons, gel, and these guys are going to try to drop behind you, and meanwhile you're caught in the pack a little bit. Never ideal. Normally I would pick somebody else, but we have enough time to bring this thing back forward. But yeah, Kalnin's definitely did not come forward. He actually started by going backwards, which brought the team back with him. So that was, not the best scenario. Oh, and Kyakovji, come on, bring the team on up. Markovic, Ryabovis, and Igashin ends up way back here, lower than we ever were at. Frustrating how that can happen, but too late now. 6k to go. Let's gel up on these next 2, and let's get Sifsy moving on through. It was a bit of a uphill section there, kind of at a time before we wanted that to be the thing. So Sifsy, push on through. Finally getting us out front. 3.5k to go, which means it's time to gel up for everyone. Sakaguchi, take over, get us out here. Okay, Sifsy, Kalnins, get onto the back. Ryabovis, Igashin. Okay, we are coming clear. We're in the right position at the right time anyway. We weren't in an ideal state before. Kyakovchi, I want you to fall to the back. Get out of the way here. Sakaguchi's going to lead on just a little bit longer here. Excellent. On to Markovic, who has decent ratings today, and I want him to sprint because he is not that great at what he's doing there. Now Ryabovis. Okay, we got a couple guys. Pidcock, Pogacar going clear.
There's a growing list of riders left behind.
Igashin, come on through. See these guys that have gone too hard too early, and Igashin now has the ability to push on. Can he get and hang on to third? He got up to third, but his red bar is already gone. I don't know if he can quite hang on here. Skillmos, I think, is going to nip him to the line, and he does. Gonzalez! Whoa, no. Oh, gosh, we were this far ahead of Gonzalez. Fifth is a good result, but it's not a time bonus. Skillmos clearly had us, but we clearly had Gonzalez. So disappointing on that part of the result. Close, but 77 Hills is only going to get you so far, and the other guys went much too soon, other than Pogacar and Pidcock, which are just on another level. Behind that, you could see how we were competitive, but also still just a little bit off compared to these guys. Let's go ahead and move forward. We're still in a good position. Hopefully there was some sort of time gap to drop a lot of the field from contention. And moving forward to stage 5, following some additional sprint stages. This, for whatever reason, I love this stage. This is absolutely one of my favorite punchy climbs on the calendar. And this is Walunga Hill. We're going to come up and take this left-hander here in a little bit and begin the first of 2 climbs up Walunga Hill. We'll hit the plateau at the top and then get over that, reset, and go at it again to the finish line. This time, though, we don't want to go too hard here. This one is about just getting there without getting dropped. And you can see Igashin is struggling a little bit, but he's over the top. He is okay. He has not been dropped, and he will recover his position here. Some riders did get dropped, though. We're down to 104 in the Peloton. Igashin taking a little bit longer to get back up to position, but this is what you need for a mediocre puncher who's definitely not a good climber to have any sort of chance in this thing. 17K to go, and we're going to begin the descent. It'll reset. We'll take a left-hander, get right back on that road where we did pick up at. So we'll tee into that road here momentarily. 13K to go now, and we need to set ourselves up for the run into the finish. Getting into the right position on this one really gives you a chance. I've won up the Walunga Hill climb many times, but we could easily turn this into a top 10 because there's separation. There's always separation on this one, where the other top 74 had same time, with the exception of Pogacar and whoever went with them. It's been a few stages for me now since that moment, even though it's still only been a handful of minutes, but I forgot who went and won the stage alongside him. But anyway, those 2 that went clear, they were about 18 seconds ahead of the chasing field. It's funny, I can remember the time, but not the riders. Well, anyway, Igashin to be led out by, I think, Ryabovis is our guy. Yes, oh yeah, he's looking good today. And then Kwiatkowski, definitely the punchers are the ones needed. Sift C can give you a good strong lead in to the climb at a high rate of pace. I'm really excited about what Sift C is bringing the team that we haven't had in years past. Okay, so Caldens again to get forward, and somehow, even though he's riding protection, he is once again the last rider in the bunch. I don't know what he's doing and how he's triggering us to be so far off. Here's that left-hander, the T, rejoining the route. And now you can see up ahead is where the big crowd is and where that left-hander is that's going to set us up into that final climb. So Kalnins, let's push even harder now. We want to maintain this front position. Kalnin's done. On to Markovic. It's all 99s from here. All 99s. 113 in the Peloton, and we are down to 5K. This is making it really hard on everybody else as we gel up. Markovic is done. On to Sakaguchi, and we are already beginning to climb. So Sifsi has not even had to do his work yet, but here he goes now. Sakaguchi, try to break toe from somebody behind us momentarily, please. Kwiatkowski is going to be done before Sifsi is. I'm going to keep him on going because we don't have the red bar. But this is what really sets it apart. You make it really, really, really hard on chasers, and then you set yourself up at the end. It was not Abner Gonzalez. It was Pidcock. Tom Pidcock was the one who was, I remember now, just took me a moment. Okay, 1.7K, and we're really getting down to the end. But you can see how most of these punchers don't have enough left. Now they make their move at 1.4K. So our move here is Kyakovchi to get out and push on a little bit. You can see he's gotten ahead anyway. Ryabovas, take over. Set up Igashin. That is not the finish line. Finish line is a little bit further on. We want Igashin to make his sprint after the top. Here is a top 10. We've definitely got the top 10 secured, but I'm not seeing any splits. Pidcock, Dubé, Aramburu, Pogacar only 4th for him, and we are in the top 10. Igashin, Ryabov is actually staying ahead of him in 8th. Igashin 10th. Burlikov is here. He only grabs 12th. Even though he is stronger both as a climber and a puncher than we are, so that's a good sign that we're able to finish ahead of him. And you definitely see some splits in the field. Hopefully more than just a top 57. I'd like to see a split much higher up the grid, because that would help us secure that top 10 overall. Otherwise we are doomed to actually finish a ways down the order. Same time throughout the top 16, throughout the top 30. This is the largest grouping I think I've seen in the Santos Tour Down Under. 57 riders on same time. Oof. Yeah, look at that. Totally screwed. We finish in the top 8 on both punchy stages, and yet we're not even in the top 16 in the GC. Time bonuses: Pidcock, Pogacar, Perry, the sprinter, gets same time. He's only 72 hills. Dubé, Aramburu, Skiamos. There's another sprinter who hangs on, and Kinsani, who picked up a single second in breakaway rides. And Igashin is 22nd, because you're looking at 45 riders on same time. Ouch. That is so harsh. That is so harsh. That is not how that should be placed. But when you quick sim, the AI will 100% of the time have you at the back of the group. Whatever group you're in, they always have you at the back. They have your leader at the back, last or next to last, crossing the line. So there's 50 riders in the group. You're 49th or 50th. And so then when you get to these stages and you do perform well, and these are the ones that count, these are the ones that should have seen time separation, and when you get it, fine, that's great. You finish in the top 10. When you don't get it, when you don't get the time separation, like this time, you end up way, way down the order because the quick sims screwed you over. That's okay. But with only one stage to go, nothing doing. Wow, huge surprise. Stage 6. I wasn't going to go over this. I was done with the race, but the breakaway has claimed victory by 1:18 over the field. Christian Perry then winning the chasing sprint ahead of Caleb Ewan. So for the Australian sake, it's nice to see two strong sprinters out of Australia. Ewan is now 32 years of age in game, 82-83 on his sprint. He's clearly much stronger than Christian Perry. Well, not much stronger. He is stronger than Christian Perry, but not by much. The 23-year-old sprinter here in game, though, very much better in terms of form. But the surprise is Mark Padun ends up winning the race. He ends up winning the race from the breakaway. That's shocking. And of course, now our position significantly worse as we were at the back of the group. Here's my proof of concept. Where is Igashin? Where is Igashin? Where is Igashin? There you go. 94th. The leader comes across 94th. Not last. There's 117. But you get the point. He was very much at the very, very back of the group. Happens every time. First win of the season. Just on paper, though, for this one, it was a quick sim sprint stage. Stage number 1 of the Vuelta San Juan International, which is our 3rd race of the year. Our first 2 races just wrapping up Santos Tour Down Under, of course, as we just saw. But Bernotas led out by Killinch, and Killinch, new rider, new sprinter, 75, 78, 20 years old, takes second. So that's a 1-2 finish on this one. It only took 2 stages before Bernotas claims his 2nd win of the year. Killinch with another decent finish, finishing 11th. Petrov sits 6th overall after stage 2 was a climbing stage, somewhere halfway in between a punchy / actual mountain stage. So he gets 6th. Riabovas was up there as well. So Bernotas not a factor in the GC, but wins both sprints they've had so far in the race. And I decided, we've already looked into this race a couple times here, talked about it in a few different matters. I might as well just show you, our first race with new man Petrov, and also check in on Bernotas. It's stage 4, Vuelta San Juan International. We are seeing a bit of action going here as the group is attacking each other with 73k left in the stage. Bernotas seems to be contributing, but not enough. And then Page here is not doing enough either, so the group is very unhappy with their situation at 3 minutes ahead. They're not winning the stage, but why I sent Bernotas up the road is that he is the points leader. He's not a contender for the overall. He's the points leader. And as such, I want to earn some points. And considering we have a finishing climb where he's going to easily get dropped, doesn't stand a chance, I might as well try to get him 12 points. So we have 5k to go, and you're seeing an attack here from the group. And he is sitting on. Now he follows.
There are a couple of riders who want to go it alone.
So we will take over control here momentarily. 3.5k. He's out on +4, so he should have a pretty easy time doing this one. Okay, now 2.5k. Let's take over here and push a little bit harder, try to get to the front on this. 2k to go. Get that front wheel, and then you could just sprint to hold these guys off. Attack. Oh, he's got it.
Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway,
early.
given that the pack has increased its speed.
Allow them to get back on. All right, there's 6 more points. He is now 24 points ahead of Halverson in the classification. Those guys at this point haven't even come back at us. I don't mind if we burn some energy if we get there first, if they don't want to come back at me, but I think it's going to be a lot easier if we're riding with the group as opposed to riding away from the group. But they don't seem too interested anymore. It's 35k. I think we can ride a 67 for 35k alone. Now the group has split up even further. They just really did not want to work. Okay, meanwhile, I need to make sure we're actually getting water for these guys. There you go. Get back up here, 25k to go. Minute and a half at advantage. It seems like those 6 points are well assured as long as we have enough energy to make it to the end. Or to the sprint point, that is. I'm not worried about the end, just the sprint point. I want those 6 points. 2:10 advantage to the chasers. They are nearly caught by the Peloton. Meanwhile, Peloton, speaking of, up the effort as these guys are really speeding up quite a bit. 10k to go now for Bernotas. Let's go ahead and gel up. Go down to a 65. We got to hang on. 2.5 minute advantage. Should be enough as long as we don't run out of energy beforehand. Down to 205. 5k to go. 4k to go. 150 advantage. A little bit uphill is going to burn some extra energy, but we're under 2k and we have a 2-minute advantage. We've got this in the bag. Another 6 points for Bernotas, and that's going to get him nicely ahead. Now, meanwhile, Killinch, it's 800 meters. Too late. I was going to have him try to get after some of the points, but there you go. 64 to 38 now. healthy advantage in the classification. Bernotas, let's go ahead and set him to auto. He's going to go straight on out the back. Let's also gel up for Killage, for Yurcevich, and get these guys set for what's to come. Get them to an 82. This one is a mountaintop finish. Petrov is the leader, but he's on a -2 on that race day condition. Galvez, I want you to hang on to the wheel of Petrov. And we're already seeing the punchier guys making an early run at it, but with 9K to go, that is a long ways to be pushing that hard. But we already have a front group that has gained a separation not once but twice. But there are enough chasers to keep it in check. Down to 24 in the Peloton. Yurcevich gone. Okay, rechecking up here. Ryabovis in position. Galvez, go ahead and... Oh, Killinch is still there. Galvez, go ahead and protect Ryabovis. And gel up. 6.7K. .23. Chasing one escape rider. And now Galvez, go ahead and protect Petrov, who you were there for all along anyway.
5 kilometers to the finish line.
And we're seeing a small group get clear, but the Peloton is thinning out more and more. We're not strong enough to win this thing. In fact, Ryabovis looks the stronger. What is his time, though? He sits 8th, just 7 seconds lower. I think we need to change our focus and ride for Ryabovis because of the negatives here, the stamina resistance. It's 9 riders clear, and we're in the chasing 14. Let's see if we can get back up with these 4. Now it's a chasing 8, and we have gotten back up. Now it's 12 chasing 5. Position has definitely improved, and 3K to go. And Petrov's going to begin to fade. Let these two go on auto. Back up there. Petrov beginning to fade. Ryabovis, 2.5K to go. Just hang on for now. Just hang on. Save a little bit of energy here. 1.6. Okay, now push back on. 85, please. As you are just a little bit stronger as a climber than you are as a puncher. Okay, push a little harder. It's 800 meters. Just measure your effort. Measure your effort. There you go. 600 meters. Look how we're blasted past these guys. Now sprint it out. 400 meters, and it's going to ease off at the top. So full gas for Ryabovis.
And it's a solo victory.
Carapaz has taken the win ahead of Warburton and Mark Swift. That's 4th and 5th. We are going to be 6th place in this one. That's good. That's good. Running out just before the finish line. Petrov, nothing left for him to do anything, so he is very much off the back. Top few riders with a clear advantage, but at 48 seconds down and a half-minute gap behind us, and then even more to the additional riders, that is enough to get us all the way up into 5th place for Ryabovis, up from 8th. No sign of Petrov. I'm not sure if there's any more climbing stages. If I remember correctly, you have that one punchy climb-like, but a little bit shorter, and then you had this one. I don't think there was any more. I think from here on out, the focus is on retaining 5th, and then the points of classification, which Bernotas, Carapaz has closed that gap, but he shouldn't have any more. There might be one more climbing stage, though. So I was completely wrong about this race. There's plenty of action still to come. Now on stage 5, this is a 17-kilometer individual time trial. Stage 6 is another mountain stage, almost identical to the one we just did. And then stage 7 is another sprint stage, meaning there's still a chance that race leader Richard Carapaz could win the points classification, especially if he does well today, though that seems unlikely. And then there's still a battle on the hands for Bernotas, though there's only one sprint stage left, and he's got that significant advantage, so he's looking fairly good to potentially win the sprint classification. But meanwhile, Petrov, with his hands full, not much of a time trialist, just a 73. He is 20th overall after falling behind on that last stage with the negative race day condition, which he has another today, though not quite as bad with just a -1. But you can see he's a little bit in deficit, but right as you go from Sector 2 into Sector 3 and roll through there, you get a little bit of a breather, and that seems to make the difference. You can almost roll 86 for most riders throughout the stage and come up right towards the end with one last little push or running out as Petrov. There you see just that tiny little bit. And another negative race day condition for Ryabovas here as well. And with the 72 prologue, that mixing for about a 74, but also losing that resistance means Ryabovas is not going to do as well as he could otherwise. And I would expect he'll slip down from 5th place slightly. But we'll see how many of these top 10 are actually good time trialists. I didn't pay too much attention to who is here to necessarily know the difference between riders, but we are at the height of elevation here in just a moment. We're going to take this left-hander and then we immediately go into the descent. We tuck, we recover. You can see Ryabovas, unlike Petrov, not quite as, he's not quite in good of a state here, but with that slight downhill, he has managed to recover just a little bit. 1K to go. Aiming for the line. And there you go. 11th. Just 21 seconds down. Not bad. Not bad.
Wow, he's just moved ahead.
But Sobrero just went to the top of the time charts. And these guys are all doing a pretty dang good job. Carapaz likely to lose a little bit of time. But otherwise, I'm not sure if we're going to hold on to a top 5 or not after that one. There was definitely some competition in the field with some really solid times from a few of the top 5 riders. Sobrero into the overall race lead ahead of Warburton. Carapaz slips all the way to 3rd, and we are in 6th place, 5 seconds behind Simonis, Mühlberger, Dombrowski, Masnada. We actually have a really healthy gap behind us. We are going to be looking forward on that next stage, hopefully, as long as we don't have a bad race day condition. Sobrero takes over the points classification ahead of Bernotas, but, well, I don't know. We still have another climbing stage. I doubt he'll finish too high, but Bernotas is going to have his hands full to assure that he is able to win the classification, as Sobrero is definitely become the top challenger. Points-wise, no other sprinter is going to challenge, but we do have a challenge from the climbers. And there's 5K to go till the first sprint point here on stage 6. Of course, the focus today is the mountain stage, the mountain finish. Petrov with a -3 again, so really poor race day condition draws for him. Ryabovas with a 0, so he's good. I just realized we're about to hit the shoot, and he's back at the very back. Come on, go. Luckily, nobody else challenged. That was close. I almost screwed that one up. I just went under the 5K banner a second ago, and all of a sudden there's 0.8K to go. 800 meters. That was scary. Okay, so Bernotas claims 6 points. That is, at least for the moment, going to put him back in the points classification lead. We have another 6 points to get here before the climb, right at the base of the climb, and this time we actually have the group to stay with us and a larger group with contenders or contributors, more contributors. So 2.5 minute advantage with they will easily words. They will easily stay away for the remaining 13 kilometers. The Peloton will not be catching them that soon, so Bernotas should easily get the additional 6 points. 12 points on the day will really help him out, and then depending on what happens with Sobrero, he'll either still have the leader's jersey or he will have to borrow it into tomorrow. And then it would rely on how he does in the sprint on whether he reclaims that jersey officially or whether Sobrero is the winner of said jersey. 3.5K to go. Let's go ahead and just ease our way forward. No need to sprint at this point, and with 2.5K to go, there's plenty of time here. We could just lead the group on through. Nobody was interested last time. 1K. Doing the work. Ready to sprint if anybody comes challenging. And they do not. Alright, good. 11-point advantage over Sombrero. Everybody else is now out of reach, theoretically. You have one mountaintop finish. You have one sprint finish. Nobody is going to get dual. So with that, we can set him to automatic. And meanwhile, this group needs to get ready for what is to come, which is a big old climb. So let's set these guys to 81. Let's focus on Riabovis. Position not ideal, but he is trying to make his way back forward as the rally rider blocks him off there and costs him a couple bike lengths. Okay, Kilinch and Galvez go ahead and use their gel now. Bernotas, could probably have him drop back to the field to protect Jurcevic. And then as we get back here, we'll use his gel and then have him protect Jurcevic. There you go. Ooh, Jurcevic. What's going on, buddy? A little too far back there if you're going to be a contributing member to the climb here. 12K to go. This is not a short one. Breakaway all broken up now. The only one who's been caught is Bernotas, but of course we did that on purpose. Kilinch out of red bar, but he's got some yellow. He should be able to hang on. Maybe. Jurcevic making his way back forward. He is a puncher, so maybe we need to get him into punch territory and have him make his way forward. Use up Bernotas.
You see that? You can read the pain on the faces at the back of the peloton.
Otherwise, he's not going to do us any good. And Jurcevic is here to protect. And we are down to 3 riders here anyway. Only 2 riders left off the front. Bernotas, that's probably going to do him in getting caught behind the Alps and Phoenix rider there momentarily. Jurcevic, nice, he's come back through. $58 left in the peloton. Kilinch, the latest to get dropped. But there are plenty of riders going out the back as we speak. Even TJ Van Garderen, who's all the way down. Oh my goodness. His attributes have taken a massive drop late in his career, unless that is a cousin or something. Very well could be.
The riders are in a portion above 10%.
Jurcevic is going out the back without using up his gel, but whatever. 6.6K, and Riabovis not looking too strong at the moment. But we're about to see a much smaller peloton as another 10 riders are dropped, down to 33. Riabovis is still in a good position in terms of where he's located within the peloton, but he is not in a good position in terms of his energy. He is quite low with 5K to go. He's only a 75 mountain, so for him to even be finishing anywhere near the top of the standings is a bit of a miracle, but getting back into the top 5 looks like a little bit too tall of an order, at least at the moment. Gonna ease off and let him slide backwards a little bit. 20 riders left. Here goes Carapaz, here goes Swift, there goes Warburton, Thalman, not a threat. Mollberger is 15, chasing 4 now. The Plus is going to attack. Mesnada is going to go with him. 2.9K. Sombrero is not in this group. Sombrero is a couple groups behind us. He's with Petrov, actually. I want Petrov to sit on. I don't want him to do anything. I'd tell him to follow, but that's not working. So it looks like there's 5 riders clear, then 6 of us. I'm not sure. I think Mesnada and I are going to get dropped by the other 4 from the looks of things. That'll put me outside the top 10. But could we get back ahead of Sobrero? Maybe. 99. Climb at your pace. Do what you can. Put me just outside of the top 10. Warburton takes the stage. Head of Carapaz. Great day for him. Swift, Maurice, Ciccone, Deplus, Thalman. That is 11th on the stage. Petrov. Go ahead and sprint it out to the finish. He's going to leave Sobrero behind here right at the finish line. 17th. And there's Sobrero, 18th. He will lose the lead for sure. Carapaz almost certain to inherit, but Warburton maybe. Carapaz was only third. I'm not sure who was second. I don't remember who was second in the standings. Was it Warburton? He's certainly up there. I want to say he was top 5, but I don't know if he was second or 4th, 5th, 6th. Be interesting to see what the standings are now. GC is ultimately decided here. 2:30 down for Riabovas, but some fairly healthy time gaps out there. It's going to really shake things up. Warburton is in the lead. He was the one who was sitting second. It's Carapaz who is now inherited second. So they both move up. Swift moves into a podium place, and Sobrero falls from first to fourth. Riabovas nearly overtaking him. But he does move up from 6th to 5th. So we've got a top 5 with Riabovas on just a 75 mountain with, 76 time trial? With 2 mountain stages, a punchy stage, and a time trial. And he has managed to get 5th place, surrounded by guys that are much higher. I mean, Ciccone is 80-77. Petrov all the way back up to 16th place as well. Points, Sobrero drops well short. Warburton climbs the ladder, but Bernotas in first with no sprinters anywhere near him. I mean, you're looking at 3 riders who did quite well and have gotten up there, but Bernotas with the advantage and a sprint stage to come looks assured to win the points. Matthews set to retire this year. I went ahead and quick simmed this one as it looked pretty certain. Bernotas 5th on the stage, but that should be enough. So Riabovas claims 5th overall. Bernotas does pick up all those additional points and wins the points classification. The 24 points that we added on would have been 64 had he not picked up those 24 points. Those 24 points coming from the 2 mountain stages where I sent him in the breakaway to pick up 6, 6, and then the next stage 6 and 6. Those 24 points were the difference. Otherwise, Warburton would have won the points classification. So really glad that I opted to do that. Riabovas was 3rd. Petrov was 5th in the under 25s. How is Warburton still 23 only? I swear Warburton's already mid-20s, unless this is also supposed to be a younger brother or regen of some kind. Very well could be. We're quite a few years into this, and I'm guessing the Van Garderen one is something similar, though he's not showing up on the under 25s category, meaning maybe it is TJ. Wow, it is TJ. 38. No wonder his attributes have declined. 38, and he's still racing. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.